the battle. Let's play pickleball.
Right away, Ben Johns, the #1 player in the world, showing why. Thanks so much for joining us. Thrilled to have you with us on Prime Video. Michelle McMahon and Dave Fleming in the booth with you. Cameron Blackwood on the sideline.
So it'll be interesting to see if Wright and Newman bring some of the new attacks off the ground that we saw in them winning. If the ball's been bounced in the middle of the court, they have not been aggressive.
Last time these two teams met was in Austin. March 19th, Ben and Collin victorious there. And it only took them 3 games to do it. Patient point. You know, the Johns brothers are just waiting for the other team to speed it up or mess it up first.
Yeah, 100%. They're going to keep feeding the middle with the dinks because that is where these two, meaning Wright and Newman, are less dangerous. Third shot, wow. So unlike other men's matches, when the Johns are involved, they are happy to dink their way to victory. Speed up at the backhand of Ben Johns, and they were ready, and that is a spot that they have targeted in the past. Johns up for that challenge here early.
Sneak attack from Collin Johns on the Ernie.
Yeah, and Riley had a long way to go after he was well over on Matt's side right there with that ball, and beautiful roll from Ben Johns to set up the Ernie. Take a picture, Ben. Oh, they switched midpoint. Wow.
Your movement is so fluid.
Yeah, so to see a team switch sides in the middle of a dink is a rarity. They've done it before. Great attack off the two-handed backhand from Newman, catches the left shoulder of Collin Johns on the last attack.
Riley Newman grabs the middle. They're on the board for the first time in this opening game.
1-3-1.
When Collin Johns goes for the Ernie, Ben doesn't even move his court positioning.
No.
He's already in the middle of the court playing singles.
I'm already in good shape here. Go ahead, bro. In fact, stay over there if you'd like.
How is he able to cover so much court in a men's doubles situation? Because in mixed doubles, it's slightly different.
Yeah, I mean,
scenario.
it's trust of where your partner, in this case, your blood brother, is going to put the ball, and he knows that he is not going to be put in a bad spot, and that is such a huge part of why they win.
Doesn't get a lot of the credit, though, Collin Johns.
He's the mastermind. He's a strategist. He knows how to counter and plays that right side of the court role as well as anyone in the world.
Ben Johns.
And what's up with Riley Newman putting balls in the crowd? Here we are again.
First it was a paddle.
I know it.
Then it was a ball. Now it's another ball. This is the second meeting between these two, if you're just joining us. Ben Johns took the mixed doubles crown from Riley Newman, who gets another crack at the #1 Ben Johns, but tall task against the best in the world. And what do you do if you're Riley Newman and Matt Wright? You know the exact game you're going to get from Collin Johns and Ben Johns. It doesn't change. What they do doesn't change.
No, it does not, and I'll answer that after this. So the thing they've found when they've won in these hotter conditions favor the Johns is speeding up the ball. They've sped the ball up at the Ben Johns backhand to set themselves up, but it is a risky way to play. They know that when they execute it perfectly, they have a good chance. Today so far hasn't gone their way.
And why would the hotter conditions benefit?
Slows the ball down, so those attacks just have a little less on them, and their hands can get the ball back down. When you're playing, when your team wants to play fast and the ball is playing fast, even better. Just all is additive.
Just wide. Newman and Wright steal another point.
Yeah, and Ben earned that opportunity for the put away with that short angle roll from that table tennis background, and then just missed an open shot.
Collin Johns yells, nope, doesn't matter.
Not
Ben Johns
listening.
cleans it up anyways.
I am your older brother. He's like, I just hit a winner.
Collin Johns, the oldest of 7 children in the Johns families.
Yeah, you see almost all the returns in this go to Riley Newman. Not as much on the drives, and keeps his aggressive net play back at the baseline as well. So you'll see that throughout the match.
7-2-1.
So there's the thing. If they are going to just dink it somewhat passively on occasion in the middle, you got to do something with it. Nice job, Riley, there.
Point. Hey, 2-2.
Someone in the crowd yelling, Riley, that was so good. We agree.
Yeah, and that's why they're dangerous on the outside, and that even got a little help off the tape, so that even pushed that topspin faster and more wide.
Riley Newman coming to life. And as his mouth motor gets going, so does his playing motor, as he said a couple of times. What hands from Matt Wright on the counter, and some momentum found on the side of Wright and Newman. They desperately needed it.
Yeah, and it was the footwork, the slide. He leaves that paddle out front. He's got the backhand ready to counter, and he's able to get it down, too, which is so important.
And we have a 3-point game.
And then that Rettenmeyer-Arnold match was debate club, too, as there was a lot of chatter.
Newman can't believe he sent that ball long.
So he slid to set up a backhand in the middle of the court, came all the way to the right, but just got too much of it, and that felt like the championship point of the Johns that got them here, which had 110 shots. That one right there had but 3.
Just when you thought the Johns were going to run away with it, here are Newman and Wright. We saw some vulnerability on the side of the Johns brothers yesterday, or a couple of days ago. Smacking it home was Ben Johns.
Unbelievable get from Riley on the full. That was the high octane level of windshield wiper to get it over there in time and pop it up.
Ball was called wide for Newman. Despite an incredible run for Newman and Wright, the Johns brothers closing in on the opening game. Game point for the Johns brothers.
Yeah, you saw the Matt Wright speed up trying to catch Ben on the forehand, and that was a no-go.
Ben Johns start and Riley Newman, who are searching for answers in game 2.
So what you see there is a very high floaty third from Collin Johns that Riley has got to do something, but Collin is ready for that particular attack. Here comes the same exact pattern.
So it's an intentional lofty third.
No, I mean, he just knows what to do with that. He wants to make the third and get them to the kitchen. If they choose to tee off, he knows what to counter with, and he's done it twice in a row.
Long that time for Collin Johns. What was it on the side of Matt Wright and Riley Newman that created some pressure for the Johns brothers late in that first game that they'd like to get back to?
Yeah, they did a much better job once they got to the kitchen line of finding the right opportunities to attack, and then there were some short balls on returns where they fed their offense. That's a great job by Riley, because the scorpion position for Collin Johns was there, but Riley, that's a tough, tough ball to get back because it's so low.
And he's starting to get chirpy. Quieted by Collin Johns in that sequence.
1, 2, 2.
And they would much rather have, even though they were doing the bump there in the middle, having Matt Wright drive those returns. Oh, a little rollover. It's like fireworks. The crowd just loves the ball off the net. Oohs and ahs. Collin Johns is going to keep dropping that ball right there until they either get to the kitchen or some sort of attack comes that they're ready for. It's fascinating the patterns these boys are happy to play. So if Matt Wright leaves a dink up in the air, you have Riley so heavy in the middle that his left shoulder is exposed, and Ben found it beautifully there. I mean, that is not a instant replay of the first or second time that happened. That is though.
Newman attacking twice. That was a good dig out by Collin Johns.
Yes, on the first one, and then nice roll at the feet of Ben.
Newman burying that one into the pocket of Ben Johns.
2, 5, 1.
Collin Johns lets it go. Not an easy ball to get out of the way of.
No, and he reads it off the paddle. He sees a bigger swing at it, and he just gets out of the way. There's no way that can stay in, as long as it doesn't hit your green shirt.
Oh, the defense. There's next to no ball that the Johns brothers can't get back.
And that was a weird read from Ben. He didn't come up with Collin there, and that messed them up after all that great digging from Collin.
It seems like they just throw their paddles out, and it just happens to be in the perfect spot for them to just deflect the ball back.
Yeah, they're on balance, though, and that's the key. They don't try and take too much court. They're set. They have the paddle ready, and they'd rather take a ball off the bounce to the side of them than try and reach and take a ball out of the air. They're really smart about where their paddle is in relation to their body.
So frustrating for the opponent, because they're so challenging to get out of position and to beat in that way because of what you just said.
You see Collin has just been sliding and countering heavy when they've tried to attack him, because he knows anything on his right shoulder is way wide.
Easy put away for Ben Johns.
After Collin, who's just been laying it in the middle, and then he sees Riley trying to take just a little extra court from the same paddle position. Look, flicks it down the line. That's really well done from older brother Collin. So that is a place to get points on, getting that short return from Collin and having him rush across the court.
Collin Johns and a loaded backhand punch gets the serve back on his side. He's 24 years old and has over 80 PPA titles to his name.
Looking at the floor there, yeah, Ben Johns not only has all those titles you mentioned, but a degree from Maryland. He's a Terrapin as well.
Materials science and engineering
Yes.
degree at that.
Helps design his own paddles. And didn't make the singles final, but is trying to play a singles point.
Too good from Matt Wright, former University of Michigan tennis player.
Great ball there. Ben thought he had him all the way out of position, but that reach and then just caught the outside of the line and got the paddle clap from Ben.
Riley Newman spots the opening.
This looks a lot like game number one, where there was a big lead. There was some momentum from Riley and Matt, but they couldn't get all the way there. Match, then come watch this brilliant pickleball. That's all happening on the Carvana PPA Tour.
And a record-setting 1,400 players join us in Atlanta. So Collin Johns finishing off what Ben Johns started. It's not often that Collin Johns gets to step in and finish the point.
I mean, will you put an overhead away, baby brother? And then gorgeous Ernie. A little fist pump. Not a lot of emotion usually from the Johns brothers.
Let's have another look at this thing of beauty, Dave.
Just such a good read, and then to go cross court, and CJ's like, you guys saw that, right? Yeah, we did.
Riley Newman speeds it up.
Yeah, Ben Johns just a tad late there.
8-4-2.
And it's Ben Newell and Philip Locklear who are the only players to beat the Johns brothers this year. Did that out in Newport, so that was one heck of a win for those two.
And how would a team like that be able to construct a victory against a team like this?
This team is so into knowing their opponent. Didn't have a lot of read on that earlier in the draw.
The black book.
Exactly.
Has some gaps.
Not anymore, it doesn't. On those two, at least. Nice job by Riley seeing Collin fade, so don't feed it back to the paddle. Go straight ahead.
A clean rip.
Yeah, so Collin's got to get those returns deeper when he is unwinding and sprinting across. And that's why they do not want to return to Matt, because his forehand drive is lethal.
Oh, Matt Wright can't believe he missed it. That was a crucial momentum swinging point. Another chance at it here on Riley's serve. Collin Johns, as steady as can be on his right side of the court. First he goes cross on the backhand, then he goes line. Riley Newman sitting on that one.
Yeah, a little clip off the tape on the right attack that got Ben just fighting for his life.
Newman once again rising to the occasion.
Yeah, great job by Matt Wright of starting that. And Collin knows if I keep dinking cross court, eventually Matt Wright is going to fire.
Matt Wright brings this to a 2-point game on championship court.
Beautiful inside out from Collin Johns there. Earned the ball up in the air and perfect finish. And if you watch that attack from Collin Johns, big forehand swing stops.
Can Matt Wright and Riley Newman find enough juice to come back in this one? Collin Johns coming up big on the backhand. Game point.
Initiates it with the forehand right there, and then look where he slides. His right foot is outside the sideline because he sets up forehand to backhand. He knows those combinations better than anybody.
Johns brothers with another chance to close out game two. Not yet, says Matt Wright and Riley Newman.
Ben loves to come in and then roll that backhand for a winner. Great job by Matt Wright of blocking that back.
Hands battles are just the next level in this matchup.
And Collin Johns just so smart to slide, and then he knows he only has to defend with one side of his body.
How far did Ben Johns travel for that earning? Nothing short of impressive from Ben Johns, who now has game point on his side. And after that, he does that.
Same guy.
Same guy.
Fourth try here.
serves are off and running here in game number 3. They're up 2 games, looking for their first title in Atlanta.
Collin was in full scorpion preparation mode, and then it kissed off the net.
Collin Johns sneaks one past Riley Newman.
0-1-1.
Collin Johns once again splitting the difference. No answers on the side of Riley Newman and Matt Wright.
He has been up to the task when he has been attacked today. Really strong performance from Collin Johns.
Here's a nice one from Matt Wright.
Yeah, you see you have both right side favor players fading. We'll see if they go back to attacking the Ben Johns backhand. We haven't seen much of that at all.
Oh, the power behind that Riley Newman backhand is lethal.
Yes, and the Collin Johnson frustration meter is lethal when the ball goes off the tape. Watch this.
Long that time for Newman.
And he knows that's the location, but missed it deep a couple times here in this match.
1-1-2.
Oh, Ben Johns, so big in the middle, and we say that a lot. He's so athletic.
Yeah, and Riley almost got, he does that backside of the paddle defense that he often gets back, wasn't able to there because of the pace of the shot from Ben.
Wow, firefight continuing on both sides. There's no vulnerability on the side of Ben Johns and Collin Johns.
So they've changed. They are attacking the Ben Johns backhand on these middle third drops. Just have never gotten to the point where the crowd got all just in a tizzy behind them yet.
Well, they can silence you because they seem unbeatable.
Yeah, and it's methodical too. That's the other thing. You can't get a run of 4 or 5 highlight reel points. They just won't let it happen. Saw Ben take a step or 2 back there when he knew an attack was coming and just reset it. So we'll see if they keep going after that. And the other difference is Ben and Collin make it to the kitchen almost every time. So again, they have the advantage in number of opportunities to score. And you saw Riley say very clearly there is a gap.
Oh, what a lob from Matt Wright. So some momentum brewing on the side of Riley Newman and Matt Wright. It is a win or go home scenario for them.
And I think we have a challenge on that. Immediately thought, so they saw something, but if it, you know, that video certainly didn't show me anything where they should have overturned it, but both John's boys thought they had something there. Okay, and Riley is he's trying to just dent the focus of the Johns boys. That's really hard to do. Riley and CJ have had some conversations in the past when it was closer, though. That's the problem. You can't run your mouth when you're down this big.
Right. I was just going to say. Strong finish for Ben Johns. Just an easy flick of the wrist.
Yeah, if he tries to hit that one too hard, he'll hit it deep because it's behind him. But if he goes down with the angle, that's really smart.
What a battle. How did Riley Newman come away with that one?
He had, you know, it was forehand on forehand after they got it exchanged in the middle, and his ball flight was just a little lower, and then that third needed to be just a little higher. That's the thing, they got to stack this so they can force a game number 4.
Not going to happen in this rotation. Johns and Johns will take the serve back.
Yeah, nowhere near the kitchen that time.
Wasn't the prettiest point, but John's brothers will take it. The point and the first serve. The angles that Ben Johns just pulls out of these quick deflections.
Yeah, and again, tennis players, if you don't have that table tennis roll in your past, don't have that shot. He has it, and it's the best in the world.
How do you develop that?
Hopefully you played a lot of table tennis as a youngster. Otherwise, you absolutely can, but that's hours on the court. You even see, I talked about it when Anna Lee was playing earlier. She's trying to get that one-handed roll into her game. So even a player who has that much skill still does not have that down. Some of the ladies are just trying to find it.
Now Newman speeds it up.
And again, it's to the Ben Johns backhand now, not to the Collin Johns backhand on the first strike.
And that has worked now twice, both picking apart Ben Johns and Collin Johns. Should that be their strategy from here on out?
Yeah, and Riley putting balls in the crowd again on deflections. But yeah, that was good, reaching out into the front of the kitchen, taking it out of the air.
Wow.
Frustrated. He didn't put away a ball earlier in that rally, and then he left it up, and Ben Johns caught Matt Wright leaning backhand.
Ben Johns sneaks another roll through after a switch of positioning with Matt Wright and Riley Newman. Do they try something different here? Or
that was just
Riley
off the that was off the poach as to why Matt was over there. So they haven't switched all match. I doubt they'd do it this late.
Even if you're down two, haven't been able to get much going?
I mean, they can. I mean, it's...
They've played it both ways before,
Yes,
right?
they most definitely have. So it's definitely there. But I think they've changed to this, which is attack the Ben Johns backhand off the bounce. That has worked before, so they're going to stick with that from their current position.
Ben Johns once again.
Five, 2.
Riley Newman rising to the occasion, trying to flip the script here in game 3.
Yeah, he'd like to get into more of that if he can when he's dictating. I see 3 sevens. Can they get to 8 this time?
Not right now.
No, slot machine looks great though.
Five, 7, 1.
So instead of countering, Collin Johns has been resetting that first ball and then not making the next one. So much more aggressive attack here.
Redirects accomplished there for Collin Johns, finding the line, closing the gap to a point.
6, 7, 2.
Fans want more pickleball here.
Matt Wright trying to get off 7. Not that time. We'll try again here.
Uses one of the thinnest paddles, just 10 millimeters.
Riley Newman goes straight ahead on Collin Johns again. He's been doing that the last couple of
points. Yes, and it's not perfectly straight again. It's back into that right hip of his so that that slide isn't as effective.
Collin Johns tries to speed it up on Riley Newman to get the better end of that one, and Newman gives him the finger wag.
Yeah, I think he's showing him how many times he's tagged him here. How many was it, Riley?
Oh. Riley was already swinging. He knew exactly where that ball was going. But they are still struggling to get off 7.
7, 6, 2.
just long, and a tough rotation to give up. Serve returns to the side of the Johns, and they'll try to tie things up. Wow. Seemed like Collin Johns was going to get into trouble on that point.
Yeah, got
Ben
out
Johns
of
to
it.
the rescue.
Got out of it with a little awkward thing, and then the attack at Ben Johns. If he gets that two-handed going, then that's a different counter. Matt Wright got tagged that time. So it's across the body, making Collin defend with the forehand.
And it's Riley Newman again. They're finally off of, no, spoke too soon. They're not off of 7.
They are most
That's
definitely.
what I was going
yes.
to.
Oh, you wanted them
jump
to
the
win
gun
that
and
point.
say.
Yes, I thought you saw the future.
I thought you did too. Oh, seemed like Newman couldn't miss. Maybe hit an out ball at one point.
Yeah, he definitely did. And you heard Matt Wright scream on this one right there.
But when you're in the thick
so
of the
hard.
hands battle and the firefight, what can you do? You're already in.
You're engaged, yeah.
Stuck on that tricky 7. And the Johns brothers
8-7-1.
take the lead.
Second serve. 8-7-2.
Ben Johns takes care of that third shot quite handedly.
I love when the left side player comes across in front of his partner to take a short return and drive it straight ahead and then finish it. That's a play a lot of people could add. And look where we're at.
Championship point for Collin Johns and Ben Johns.
10-7-2.
And it ends on the paddle of the greatest in the world, Ben Johns.